Shalom, guys. Sorry, the last video I started to broadcast, I got interrupted, and if you look on my channel, I will have a lot of interruptions within the past 4 or 5 episodes broadcast. Uh, so the one that you want to look at is the one that's about 50 minutes and 18 seconds long. Uh, I think that was what was the time. So before I begin, I should also apologize that my screen share, it may seem a little blurry. I didn't know that until I was started to watch the video that was 50 minutes and 18 seconds long. Um, so I hope you enjoyed. Sorry, I got cut. My webpage disconnected, I should say. So fortunately, I wasn't able to so far see that guy again when I started to broadcast again with the last episode or the last broadcast I started to do before getting interrupted. So I hope you enjoy. Um, so before I go back to that webpage, I'm going to tell you what my research I showed. Um, the Babylonians, I once again before I start, I don't really know exactly the years of the empires too well, so I just know what order they came in and what some of them did. So first, the Babylonians came in around 583 or 563. I think it was 583 BCE. They destroyed the first temple that year and killed many Jews in the process. Uh, they, a lot of empires started hating. Hated the Jews quite often, so it wasn't really that normal. Um, anyways, the Persians came in, allowed the Jews to rebuild their temple. The Roman Empire came in after the Persians, and they destroyed the second temple, and they exiled the Jews. Persians tried to come back with the aid of the Jews, but unfortunately the Persians failed, and the Roman Empire had succeeded in conquering Jerusalem. And whoever conquers Jerusalem basically had control of the whole region, because Jerusalem was like a trade post where the goods were coming from one side of Israel to the top, to the other side. So, between 70 AD to 74 AD, the Roman Empire sieged, tried to take, excuse me, the Roman Empire tried to take over the Masada. 900 Jews died. It took 4 years to build up the Roman ramp, which I climbed up that ramp, and it was steep, very steep. Uh, so, took 4 years for them to build the Roman ramp and killed 900 Jews in the process of that. During that time, the Christianity formed during the rule of Emperor Nero. They revolted. So, as well, that Judaism started over 3,500 years ago. Per that the Jews had gotten the Torah around 1250 BCE, which is long before Islam even started. Um, so after the Roman Empire, Byzantines came in. I don't think they liked the Jews very much either, but which is probably why they didn't allow the Jews to rebuild their temple. Then after the Byzantine Empire, a small Muslim military class came in from Turkey. They gave some rights to Jews, but not much. I believe that they had gave the Jews the right to transfer land, but that was pretty much it. Jews wanted full rights, like the Persians gave them. They did not like the Muslims controlling them at all. Crusaders came in. The Crusaders were like they killed anybody who was not Christian. Like they didn't care who they were. They were Muslim, or Judaism, or Jewish. If atheists exist back then, I don't know if they were, but if atheists exist back then, they killed atheists too. Which there were pretty big battles too. A lot of bloodshed, fortunately. So then, Ottoman Empire came in after the Crusaders. The Crusaders had, excuse me, the Ottoman Empire took control in 1517 to 1917. 1917, Great Britain took control the whole area, including what is now Jordan, um, and I think a little bit of the Sinai Peninsula. That was part of the British Mandate, and in fact, Great Britain had promised the Jews. Excuse me, sorry, I opened up a new tab by mistake. Great Britain had promised the Jews land, but they cut off 70% of the land, and 70% of the land had formed into Jordan. By 1927, massive killings had begun in Jerusalem, Safed, and Hebron. By 1929, a tenth of Jews were killed in Hebron by Arabs, and that is, excuse me, that is pretty bad. Great Britain didn't kill Jews; they just put land restrictions, so the Jews couldn't transfer land. They also put restrictions on immigration for the Jews, so Jews weren't allowed to come to Israel from Europe after World War II, but they did anyway. So Great Britain started turning blindsided, but they knew that this crisis had to end. So the Peel Plan was in commission in Geneva. I'm going to share this screen real quick. In July and August 1937, as you can see here, I was hoping to not open up that new tab. As you can see here, the majority of the land is for the Arabs, and less were for the Jews. I believe the Jews, the Jews did take Tel Aviv. Great Britain, apparently, according to this map, had control of Jerusalem, but I don't think that's true. The Great Britain was going to pull out anyways, so they would have given Jerusalem to the Arabs. The Arabs, Jerusalem is the most holy city to the Jews and the third most holy city to the Muslims, and the Jews didn't even get it. Guess who accepted and guess who rejected? The Jews accepted and the Arabs rejected. The Arabs wanted the Jews out completely. Didn't care where they go. They just wanted them out of their land. We didn't care. The Jews didn't care about Jordan that much because there's nothing historic in Jordan for the Jews. But there are some historic sites for the Jews and Jerusalem, especially Jerusalem. I know that there are historical sites for Muslims and Christians in Israel too, but I don't think that even Muslims count mosques as temples either. I've never heard one Muslim count a mosque as a temple. So if they don't, then why would the place be called Temple Mount? People acknowledge it's called the Temple Mount. So if the Muslims still call mosque temple, then why would Temple Mount be named the way it is? So sorry, getting off track. So then let me go back. By 1947, the UN had come up with the UN partition plan. Let me bring that up real quick. Which gave a little bit more money to the Jews and a little bit less to the Arabs. But there was a problem. If that plan did come in effect, there was a problem. Noticed how to look up between this. That means that the Arabs would have to go to around the West Bank area right here, but they would have to cross over Israel, and that was a problem, especially down in southern Israel. They would have to, in southwestern Israel, they would have to cross Israeli territory just to get to the other side of Palestine. If that plan did work out. The Jews accepted and the Arabs rejected. And as you can see, Jerusalem was considered as an international zone. That's why it is white and not considered as an Arab state or a Jewish state. That's why I wasn't in one of those two places. So on May 14th, 1948, on a Friday afternoon, approximately 4:30 p.m., Israel had declared independence right when Great Britain had pulled out, because they know that they weren't able to do when Great Britain was in power. Was in control. They did it. They declared their independence in Tel Aviv, which technically there's no historical site in Tel Aviv for the Jews. Um, but they declared their independence in Tel Aviv because Jerusalem was controlled by the Arabs at that time, which during that time it was extremely difficult for the Jews to bring aid and food and supplies to the Jews living in Jerusalem or near Jerusalem because there was basically only one road that led to Jerusalem. And they were constantly attacked in the food trucks, supply trucks. It was quite dangerous, and it still is. So, um, so the next day, on May 15th, 1948, on a Saturday, 5 countries, including Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Jordan, and Egypt, attacked Israel. Some people count Saudi Arabia, um, that was part of the cause, but some say that they had nothing to do with it. So, yet again, it has to do with different views on the topic. Um, so, the Syrians took the Golan Heights. The Jordan took the West Bank, and Egypt took the Gaza Strip. By 1967, Israel had offered the Gaza Strip back to Egypt. They also had um, they also had offered the West Bank back to Jordan. Both of their countries declined the land that they invaded in 1948. And eventually, Israel had gone into peace treaties with Egypt and Jordan. First Egypt and Jordan in 1993, I think. And I think that's when Jordan signed a peace treaty with Israel. Um, so in 2005, Hamas had taken. Actually, I should back up. The Palestinian national anthem was created in 1996, which if Palestine was really a country at first, I'm pretty sure that they would have already had a Palestinian national anthem. And guess who made up the music? It was the Egyptian too. Now, if you look up the United States national anthem, um, it is made up completely by Francis Scott Key. He was the one who wrote the music. It was actually a poem, and after I think it was during the Revolutionary War. That was when another American or colonist had made up the music in the bar, and that's how it became our national anthem. With Hatikva, I'm sure that it was made up all by Jews or Israelis. Um, so I'm actually, people say, oh, um, just because or just because Palestinians have an national anthem before 1996, doesn't mean that they weren't um, doesn't mean that they weren't a country before. Well, people say that Palestine was a country until 1948. Well, they should have had a national anthem before 1948. Israel had a national anthem right when they created the. Excuse me. Israel had a national anthem right when they declared independence from Great Britain. I think love. I was actually in Independence Hall, and it was it was quite amazing actually. Um, the lyrics of poem was a Jewish poet from Ukraine because he was Ukraine doesn't mean he wasn't Jewish. He was Jewish. Um, I can't say his name. I honestly I can't say names if it's from a different origin other than American. Um, it doesn't say who wrote it, but you notice how it caused the hope. Um, it was made in. I remember wrote the first version of the poem in 1877 while the guest of a Jewish scholar. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Um, oh no, my that's it was in okay. Well, anyways, it was created in 1877, which was before Israel had created their independence. So in 1996, the PLO, Palestinian Liberation Organization, had was the first one who used the Palestinian national anthem. They just sent terrorists. I believe I believe that the chairman of the PLO was Yasser Arafat, which also became the leader of the Fatah Party in the Gaza Strip. He suffered from a heart attack, and a lot of people blamed the Jews for his death, which Jews had nothing to do with his death at all. So by 2005, Hamas had taken control of the Gaza Strip, and sorry, I got something in my throat. And by 2006, all Jews were forced out of their homes by the IDF because Hamas is reckless. They do not want to sit down and talk. Yasser Arafat and the Fatah Party were more willingly to sit down and negotiate with Israel. They still sent terrorists, yes, but they were more willingly to sit down and talk with Israel. And so, okay, I don't know what's in my throat, but Hamas has terror tunnels. They dig tunnels that stretch all the way into Israel, and I think there's a few that stretch into Egypt too. They also don't have any anti-air defense systems. They don't have any bomb shelters. When was the last time you heard of Hamas posting a statement? We built another anti-air defense system, or we built another bomb shelter. The first 3 nights I was in Israel, I stayed in a kibbutz in Farod, and one of the meeting spots that my group and I went on a birthday, one of the spots that we were at night was in a bomb shelter, and the bomb shelter looked like a school classroom. It had a whiteboard. It had chairs, desks, I should say. It was. It said a lot of bomb shelters are either rooms, like bedrooms, or classrooms, so that way the children will be safe, and other people will be safe too. And when I was in Israel, I know I heard a few. I was in Jerusalem. There was 2 terrorist attacks within 7 to 10 minutes away from my hotel in Jerusalem. Now, it would have been completely easy for a terrorist to come into the hotel that I was staying at, pick any floor they wanted to, go into a room, and kill whoever's in it. Now, before the Israelis or the guys joined my group, there was 2 or 3 people per room, and just because I had 3 people there, did not mean that I was safe. Because they could kill anybody they wanted to. Normally they would have guns or not. Sorry. So that's pretty much all I know about Israel's history. So I know I'm getting a little off track, but when I was at the Western Wall, do you know how tense the situation is there? How many people accuse Muslims for being terrorists? I know that not all Muslims are terrorists, but you don't understand that, from my perspective, that the amount of terrorist attack committed by Palestinians, mainly majority of the Muslims, that attacked Israelis. There was a Muslim who was putting his hands up while he was walking by the Western Wall. I don't know what he was doing there, but he was walking by the Western Wall with his hands up to show that he wasn't going to attack anybody. And there were a lot of Orthodox Jews. For me, I'm conservative. And I forgot to mention this as well. My first night when I was there, while I was driving to Farod with my group, it was at night. We stopped by a small convenience store off of the highway. There were about 15 to 30 IDF soldiers. They went in groups. They weren't all together in one big group. They were in different groups. Most of them had guns. There was a Muslim that walked by him. The Muslim had no problem whatsoever. He did not get attacked, and he did not attack IDF soldiers. So that proves that not all, that doesn't mean, that proves that Muslims don't always attack Israelis, and that doesn't mean that all Muslims are terrorists. But he was innocent. He was talking on his cell phone, walking, wearing a white shirt, or a gray shirt. It was kind of dark. But but I know he was there. It was he was wearing a light shirt, and was talking on a cell phone, walking by groups of IDF soldiers. They did not stop him because he was Muslim. They did not stop him to ask for his ID or anything like that. Just let him do his business, and he didn't commit a crime. Um, so people, and did you know that 66% of Israel is actually desert? About 30% to 40% of the land is a negative desert. But Israel has saved 98% of the water, making grass to grow, and mainly in southern Israel, right in front of the negative desert. So, I mean, that's quite interesting. I mean, you don't hear the Gaza Strip doing that, saving their water. When was the last time you even heard Hamas or the Palestinian Authority or the Fatah Party? They even come up with medical advances. Israel has done that. They have made an exoskeleton called Rewalk, for an example. Helps paralyzed and crippled people be able to walk and compete in marathons. Never heard of Palestinian never doing that. It's just like not the Nazis. The Nazis only did experiments on Jews. Like I remember they were trying to figure out how to infect Jews with malaria without having to be infected by a mosquito. Um, so I mean, I don't really know much about the United States medical field. That the United States were able to successfully put a uterus inside somebody else, like a guy or a trans woman or whoever didn't have a uterus before. It's still an experimental stage. As far as I know, that's as much as we accomplished. Um, so, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say. I I know Israel. I mean, I know Israel. I've been there. People say to go to Israel and you'll find out the truth. The truth was that there are terrorist attacks that were happening, like made my plans different. So, um, so I know the truth. But a lot of people who don't like Israel, that's never been to Israel, and this one guy actually said to me that the reason why he likes Palestine is because he follows the news media, and you can't. I mean, like CNN, for example, after the bus explosion in Jerusalem, on their website it said that um, police had uh, confirmed it was a terrorist attack. That's what the headline was on when they were breaking the news on the air. It said bus fire in Jerusalem. Now, if it was a bus fire, I would assume that somebody like somehow put a match or something in the gas tank or dropped a cigarette and caught on got the bus on fire or something like that. Then yes, that would by accident. Then yes, that would be a bus fire or an electrical problem engine. I don't know. Yes, a bus fire. But for someone to blow up a bomb inside a bus, that's considered as terrorism. So come on, CNN, get your headlines right. You don't help us at all, unless if you vote for Palestinian people. So so I'm gonna go ahead and screen share, and I will do this again. And I don't remember. I mean, I hope you guys remember about the last guy that I was talking to. We were more focused on the history. And, you can look up the video that was 50 minutes and 18 seconds long. So, for this guy, I will show you by setting on my tags that I have. So, a question. Oh, why do you? There we go. So, let's see if the answers. I don't know. It's one of the same people I talked to before. But by other videos that got interrupted. But well, Oh, yeah, he is answering. Because the Jews stole our land, and um, the Jews stole our land, and they killed our people. But I want to say that's the most common answer I hear, but they're real people who deserve respect. Hmm. It's probably when they get a little suspicious. Because usually when people say that, means that they support the other side. Let's see what he's going to say. Usually, when people say yes, they hesitate or say, because I know what it is. Or they ask me a different question. Do I know what it is? Oh, I see it. Um, hmm. Oh, before I should probably apologize before. I should also probably apologize that after this video gets posted, it might be a little bit blurry. I didn't know it was going to be blurry until I watched the video that was 50 minutes and 18 seconds long. So, what he says. Look, I don't care who was in the past and before. In 1948, millions of Palestinians were kicked out of their homes so the Jews could come and build their states. Those who left aren't animals, are the real people with real families and lives. Their cities and villages were wiped out completely. Um, it's sad because it seems like a colonization and not from a year ago. A billion years ago? What? Um, I don't think anybody was alive a billion years ago. I don't understand where he's getting a billion years from. Who was even alive a billion years ago? Jerusalem. Oops. Jerusalem. Dang it, I still can't. Jerusalem. There we go. Romans, Persians, Romans. Um, Romans and destroyed the first temple. I gotta copy paste this. 583 BCE. I don't understand why I cannot spell right now. There we go. Killed. Dang it! I can't. Oh, okay, I can barely see it. See, I'm typing. I can barely see it. He's gonna disconnect. You'll see the phone probably figure out the amount of the Zionists. Started around 1250 BCE. The empires who controlled Jerusalem were Babylonians, Persians, Romans, and Byzantine. Babylonians came and destroyed the first temple around 583 BCE. The Persians allowed the Jews to rebuild their temple. Persians came in around 70 AD and took the second temple. Isn't it not? Didn't start until 6 AD for Egypt. That's as much as I'm gonna say us right now if he doesn't disconnect. Okay, so why don't I go to journey searching for my ancestors? What? Um, I've always wanted to own land in Paris. And Muslims weren't alive. And so you could, and so could you, but you chose to dismiss millions of Palestinians. You can't rest. How many Palestinians are there? I don't even know. Um, First, do you know? Oh, okay. Well, 2012, there's 11.6 billion. Okay. Well, I know what you're gonna do though. Hmm. He's not proving anything. I mean, if he gets to say that Jews existed or who existed a billion years ago, that is ridiculous. I mean, he's giving numbers that make no sense at all. There's really no Jews. There's pretty much neither Jews, Christians, Muslims. Pretty much no one was alive a billion years ago. I feel like the word was cavemen or something. But 1564635. Hmm. I mean, he's hesitating, so he doesn't know anything. Like I'm telling you, this is what happens. People hesitate. I'm this guy. I will show you. Um, I will show you my settings, my tags I had. See what he says now. I made that number as a mockery because your whole. Oh, okay. Um, I know I did that in the last video that was 15 minutes long. Yeah, I'm always right about the millions. Sure that there were millions. Let's try 2015. Man, the numbers dramatically increased. Wow. Hold on, I'm gonna try something real quick. Alright, my space bar doesn't always work sometimes. Doesn't show. Okay. It's unknown. Really, it comes from the word Philistines. Came came Oops, sorry. Oh no! Like he took a minute or two just to type in 3 words. He's not even answering my question. So he's still hesitating. I wish I could show you the anti-Semitic remarks that I get, but every single time I do, I don't get it. You think the conflict? Every single time I get an anti-Semitic remark, it's on my PlayStation, and I don't have my game capture card. The disc that came with my game capture came on my came with a disc, so I don't have a disc drive for this computer that I'm using right now. Different versions. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. A hesitation. Hello, darling. That's my game. I'm not hesitating, I'm just not interested. I think your history argument is stupid and contributes nothing to the actual conflict that is happening right now. Sorry, I was rooting and I was thinking at the same time, so my pinching kind of went off track, and I completely forget I was broadcasting right now. So my bad. Good, it still shows. Do 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 do. And had countries, and they're not the only nation, sadly. Okay, if you want to talk president, I can talk president. Let's refer to all the pains to make peace happen. Bring up my list. Oh, thanks for not answering my question and welcome also. Hmm. see what it says now. I'm not so surprised because a lot of people have a debate about this. Just those things have lived through hell and they have to become emotionally numb. Emotionally. Got them there. Hamas has a ton of materials for terror tunnels. They build one almost every single day. I think that's how you pronounce the name. I could be completely wrong. Master Airfred. That's how it is. Airfred. Yes, Airfred. Let's see what 2000. Okay, so he died in 2004. He died in France. What? I want to say 20. I think it was 20 to 30. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry. Stop bed. My bad. Sorry, I thought it was a place. I looked it up and I guess I was wrong, but it was, wait, what? Fairfield? I said Fairfield. Google's not, okay, so I was right. It wasn't Fairfield. Around, sorry. I was 80 miles away from ISIS, and um, I I will show you. Hold on, give me. Dang it! Anything was gonna do. Only hold on. After this guy, I'm going to show you some of the pictures that I took, so that way you guys know it's real. Um, but he's not even answering right now. Well, I want you to admit you've been hesitating my questions and you didn't try to justify what I said. I can tell you what I did in Jerusalem. I met Israel if you want. Everything I saw the first day I was hiking the first day I was there, I was hiking in Mount Meron, in the distance near Lebanon. I heard a bang that sounded like a mortar. I did really. Oh, he left. Yep, yep. I was right. I was right. 90% of the time, or no, at least 90 to 95% of the time, um, people make excuses. Oh, their internet interrupted, or they had to do something. I mean, if you, in the first video that I posted, I made a mistake because I couldn't find. I didn't know that it was a little icon like on near my screen or on the left side of my screen to share my window. So I ended the broadcast so I can look it up and try to find it because I made a mistake. I looked it up and I thought it was talking about Google Hangouts on air, but it wasn't like that. So I will show you my pictures that I took so you guys know it's real. Here it is. Sorry. Okay. So here is the. Actually, I feel like it would be better to. Not gonna show that. Waterfall, minus waterfall. This is the group I went to, and I forgot to do screen share again. Give me a second. Okay. Everyone. There. Okay, so this is my. This is not the waterfall where I went to. Fact. I mean, you see this. You see the right here, around his neck. That is our name tags that we had to use. So we had to wear 24/7. We were not allowed to take it off unless if we. Sorry, unless if we were. We weren't allowed to take it off unless if we were at the hotel. That's the only time we could take it off. Some people didn't wear it the last day, but I wore it 24/7. So I hope this is not going to end my screen share. Okay, it did. So I'm gonna try something else. Tired. I'm gonna try that now. Nope, not doing that. Okay. Sorry about this. Screen share again. I'm gonna have to do is your page. Okay. So as soon as I can present to everyone. Okay. There we go. So here's my the waterfall again. Same location. Second day I was there. I have to keep checking if it's still. Yes, it is. Good. Here's Mount Tall. If I zoom in, and a second, when it lets me. No, I don't want to do. Give me a second. I will show you Mount Tall, which is in a view of Syria, which. Dang it! It is not letting me show you Mount Tall. Okay, I'm getting kind of frustrated with this thing right now. So I feel like it would be better to show you the PowerPoint that I made for my trip. And I hope it will play when it's. I really hope it will play, but okay, I know what I can do. So I'm gonna try this once on full slideshow mode, see if it works, but I don't know. It should work. Mount Meron. If you look on the left side, you can see Lebanon. We did something called the human map of Israel. If we didn't have a map with us, there's test bed. You can look in the distance. There's mountains in the back. There's a lot of Orthodox Jews there. Here's the video and the picture I showed you. We had to drink a lot of water. It was a ridiculous amount of water we had to drink. You see these homes, the short homes, and a little bit in the distance here in the middle of the picture. That was Syria. All the white spots was destroyed homes in Syria. There's my tour guide and his son in Haifa. It was extremely beautiful and some Jewish one background. It is known as the city of coexistence. There's not a lot of terrorism that goes on there. Later that night, here is Jerusalem. I know it's kind of blurry because my camera sucks so bad if I zoom in. Mifdash, you can see that they're still wearing their IDF uniforms because this is the first day we met them outside in Jerusalem. Next day after that, we were at the old city of Jerusalem, prayed there. It's quite interesting. Quite fun. Here is the second day. Here is Shabbat on Friday evening. We didn't have a rabbi, so we did a mini service where people got their Bible back. And so this is the next day on Saturday. We walked the Israel Museum. It's quite fun and place. Just they're taking pictures outside the statue. This is the second temple, and the city that was Jerusalem back then during the Second Temple period. Day 6, we went to the Holocaust Museum and Mount Herzl, and that was kind of sad, and it would be disrespectful to take pictures. Benidorm Tents, this was amazing. I really liked the Benidorm Tents. It was in the Negev Desert. I mean, to fit like 44 people in one tent, that is amazing. 44 people slept there that one night. This is where we ate. We had meatballs and I forgot what else was there. Chicken, tortilla rolls. Rode the camel the next day. That was kind of fun too. The Masada. Here we go. Now where 900 Jews died, we actually yelled freedom in the distance. And it echoed it, and it sounded like it bounced back. Here's the Dead Sea. It is the lowest point of Earth, with approximately 840 meters below sea level, I believe. Here's Tel Aviv. Downtown Tel Aviv is right there, as you can see. We were in Jaffa. And behind them, you can see downtown Tel Aviv again through the trees. And here's Independence Hall. That was in Tel Aviv, and that is Herzl right there. He was the founder of the Zionist organization. In fact, here's departure. In fact, we were Mount Herzl. I mean, excuse me. Yeah, Herzl was the founder of Zionist organization. In fact, they split the Zionist organization. They had 3 different places where they wanted to create a Jewish state. Israel, of course. I don't remember the other 2 locations that they wanted to try to do, but I think one of the places was Jordan. Well, actually, no, because Jordan didn't exist yet when organization was there, when he was alive. He got assassinated, fortunately. So, no, Herzl wanted Israel to be the Jewish state. And it's the Zionist movement in 3 different ways. They had a lot of arguments. Sorry. So that's why one of the mountains is called Mount Herzl, because of Herzl, who was the founder of Zionists. And I went on top of Mount Herzl, day 6, and I didn't have any pictures for it. It's an IDF cemetery. So what I did was, I didn't really have anything to leave, so I left my water bottle, and I came to quote that every soldier needs to drink water. Just because that they're dead doesn't mean that they don't need it. Meaning that his spirit will live on, and I left my water bottle in between graves on purpose, because one of my staff members, I think one of my staff members from the U.S., we went to visit his friend's grave. His friend wanted to be in the paratroopers, but they rejected him. But his friend actually snuck in, and was able to go. Like, I don't remember exactly what happened, but it was pretty sad. His friend wasn't able to get in, but he snuck inside the screening process or whatever, and he got screened. It was clear to go. Nobody knew that whoever was screening, nobody knew that he was that he snuck in till later, and he did fight for a little bit, but fortunately he died. He got shot. I remember we went to another grave. One of my friends, who is in Nadia, that we went to visit her friend and another friend. No, sorry, excuse me. We went to visit his friend. We had multiple people from the IDF in our group that joined our group, and we went to visit my one of the guy's friends' dad. We were talking about him, and his friend was buried right next to another friend who is an IDF too. So she started crying, and I went over and I comforted her and hugged her and stuff like that. I made her stop crying. Um, what's correct? So, I mean, as you can see, the Jews have a lot of respect for each other. We don't celebrate that they died. We we cry over them. I mean, I didn't know them, but I actually did start crying a little bit. Um, I mean, it was sad. I started crying when we were walking away from the graves, and we were doing a we sat um, we sat somewhere in an area that was right behind the graves. We didn't sit on a grave, of course, but we sat near graves, and I was shaking so much because I was upset about with all the people who died because they were trying to defend Israel and because they were Jewish. Um, so it was, upsetting. And I forgot. I also meant to mention this that the American staff member, his when we went to go visit his friend's grave, his friend was an American too before he died. But I actually do plan to go to Israel and serve in the military. Um, something I want to do. So this is going to do it for this episode. I've talked a while, and I'm pretty sure that I have passed. Um, I'm pretty sure I passed 50 minutes, like what I did in my other video, that I was able to successfully do it without any interruptions. So I really hope you guys enjoy, and Lila Tov, which means good night, because it is not here. So I'll talk to you. By the way, if you guys support Israel, before I go, say Ani Ahava Yisrael. That means I love Israel. So love Israel. See you guys later.